Welcome to Keto Meals and Recipes.com. It's finally springtime, and before we start having locally grown, fresh, tasty strawberries, I thought I would show you how easy it is to make an old-fashioned style strawberry reduction jam. I'll explain the meaning of this term a little bit later. If you're getting your strawberries in season, this recipe only requires 3 ingredients and no sweetener at all. However, I want you to know that technically fruit jams, even without sweetener, are not keto. But if you're using just 1 tablespoon or so at a time as a condiment, this tasty strawberry jam can be part of your keto low-carb lifestyle because it's sugar-free. It only contains the natural sugars, which you have to be careful of. If you like my recipes and would like to show your support, please subscribe, click on the notification bell, and scroll down to all. And of course, if you do like the recipe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and refer this recipe to someone that you think might also enjoy the recipe. I would be very grateful. And if you like my strawberry jam recipe, please check out the end links for more tasty recipe ideas. The macronutrient ratio for this batch of strawberry reduction jam is 0.1 to 1. As I said, not keto. With 3.3 grams of total carbs, 0.9 grams of dietary fiber, resulting in 2.4 grams of net carbs per 15 gram, or 1 tablespoon serving. As I already said, you will only need 3 ingredients if you're using fresh in-season strawberries. And these ingredients are strawberries, 1 lemon, and a pinch of salt. To begin with, first wash and pat dry your strawberries. Cut off the green tops and then cut up the strawberries. This will make it easier to puree, but not necessary. Put the strawberry pieces into your food processor or blender and puree for about 10 seconds. That should do it. Then transfer the puree into a small saucepan. Add your lemon zest. Add the lemon juice and then the salt. Now, these strawberries are not in season, and so they're not very sweet. And because they're not very sweet, I'm going to add a little bit of sweetener. And the amount of sweetener in the written recipe, which you can find in the description below, is more than enough to make this jam really delicious. You don't want to add too much sweetener. In order to ensure that my sweetener dissolves in the jam, I always pre-grind it to a fine confectioner powder. Once you've added all the ingredients, just stir everything together. Place the pot on the stovetop. Cook over medium-low heat so that you get a light bubbling simmer for about 20 minutes. Even though this is not quite in season, I want to mention that obviously the best time to make any jam is at the peak season of that particular fruit. That's when your fruit, such as the strawberries, are at their peak flavor and natural juiciness and sweetness. I hope you'll give this recipe a try, and as you can see, it's extremely easy to make. Even a beginner can have a very successful recipe. And one of the reasons that whether you're on keto or just wanting to reduce sugar, this is a much healthier strawberry jam than what you would buy in a grocery store, especially here in North America, where they infuse sugar in everything, and especially in jams. I did notice the difference in jams and even desserts when I was living in Europe or when I was traveling outside of North America. Specifically, European jams are not as sweet, and as a result, the jams and jellies have a more natural fruit flavor. And you'll get the same result by making the jam using my slow cooking method. This method naturally reduces the jam by slowly evaporating the water content found in the fruit. That is why it's called reduction. You're reducing the water content in the jam and making it thicker without any additives. And this results in the best and most old-fashioned style homemade tasting jam. And because you're using very little sweetener or none at all, and you definitely do not need any thickeners, you also save money because you're not using any expensive ingredients. And let's face it, sugar substitutes are expensive. This is a very cost-effective recipe. Please note that how long you have to cook the jam to get it to the correct reduction for your particular batch of jam will vary, so adjust the cooking time as needed. Your timing will depend on how much natural juice was in your strawberries or whatever fruit you're using after the fruit was pureed. It's been about 20 minutes and my jam is done. The last thing you have to do is transfer to a glass container and let the jam cool. You'll notice that this jam is a little bit liquidy at first, but it will thicken as it cools. And as with any jam, you should store this jam in a glass jar and keep it in a refrigerator for a couple of weeks or so. This jam can also be frozen if you make a large batch. I highly recommend that you freeze your jam in small containers like this. In a couple of my future videos, I'm going to use this jam as an ingredient in a few of my other recipes that will be posted very soon. So please come back and check those recipes out. In the meanwhile, I hope you will enjoy the fresh strawberry taste of this easy-to-make homemade jam. For those of you who've stayed with me to the end, thank you very much for watching my video. And have a very happy and healthy day. Cheers!